tired of coming around looking for love, it's not here. Anytime you hit me, I was never not there. I don't wanna fight, I wanna take you to Chanel. And I tell you something, I just hope you not tell. You said you was a dub, I meant to say you was a 10. I don't wanna do this shit again, oh man. I don't wanna do this shit again. I think you should know. I just you can never tell me that I'm not right. How you telling everybody calling me the same man? I don't even get the time to fuck you on the weekends. Anytime you pull up on me, baby, it's a secret. I don't wanna fight, I wanna fuck you.
Turn my headphone down a little bit. Yeah. 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 How many niggas you die? How many times did you lie? How many times did she leave? How many times did she cry? How many chances she done gave? Fuck around with these lies.
I can see behind the smoke and mirrors, niggas ain't really big as they sing. I never say anything, you know what the outcome will be. I'm betting 1,000, it's got to the point that these rappers don't even like rapping with me now. I break with my cup cause they fuck up the shop. Just want you to know that you got it, my nigga. Don't
Pray
fight.
that you block. How many lawyers you got? How many times you got shot? How many times did she cry? How many chances she done gave? Fuck around with these lies.
All right, what is up, guys? I'm Silas Williams, aka TheSwolefessor, educational health and social well-being. Welcome to episode 7 of Unfinished Business, the prep series for Carolina Primetime. It is Tuesday, May 9th? Yeah, it's Tuesday, May 9th. We're about, at this point, 3.5 weeks out from Carolina Primetime. And take you guys through this workout just because I've noticed in this prep series, I've shown you live footage of pretty much every other training day. You guys have seen Sunday, which is my secondary intensity bench day. You've seen Monday, my secondary squat day and tertiary bench day. You've seen the combined work of Wednesday, which is tertiary squat, secondary pulls, and Thursday, which is my day 5 bench work. But I haven't shown you guys Tuesday, day 4 bench work in a while. So I'm like, let me just take them through it today, kind of talk to them about, kind of what I'm thinking when I'm coming into sessions like this. So you guys just saw me hit 125 kg, 275 pounds for my top set of 7 at about RP 7. And now I'm about to knock out my back downs with 10% drop, 248 pounds, 112.5 kilos, 112.5 kilos. And pretty much, man, I don't expect a whole lot when it comes to this day because I just know what the trends, I know what each day is for, right? My primary SBD day, that's the day to push. It's the day that's gonna have the most carryover to the platform as far as bench itself, right? And I've talked about this before, Steve knows talked about this before. When it comes to squat and deadlift, you can have more flexibility with what days those fall on as far as your primary days and still build just fine into meets. But bench is a little bit more finicky, so trying to align your bench day, your heaviest bench day, as close to the day you'll be competing in the week is pretty important overall. And it's one of these things where, granted, if you are able to align all your primary stuff closer to the weekend, then why not, right? So long as you still get a good training response. If it's this thing where hey, when my primary deadlift is close to my primary squat, it just takes too hard versus if I have it later in the week, have it later in the week. But if you're somebody where hey, I can hit my primary squat and primary deadlift in the same day, or my primary squat on, say, Friday and then deadlift on Saturday, or primary squat Saturday and then deadlift on Sunday, and you recover just fine, then it's only it doesn't hurt you at all to keep it close because it just makes the tapering that much simpler. Mind you, peak and tapering is not this overly complex process, which is something that Steve will actually be going over with some of his next videos on Powerlifting Now. And what I kind of want to talk about right now is more about just recognizing trends, right? I'm actually, funnily enough, my next Powerlifting Now video, not for this month, but for this upcoming month of June, is actually going to be going over programming for low frequency bench pressers, so 2 to 3 times a week. And I'll kind of get in, you guys, if you're subscribed to Powerlifting Now, you'll be able to see that. But I want to talk about just trends for me with my bench press. So my day 1 is my primary day. It's there for pushing and having carryover to the platform. My day 2 is like a secondary intensity day, where I know I can kind of push that day to get a good stimulus as well. Then day 3, my Larson press day, which is on Monday yesterday, is just a top set of 5 Larson, 2 back down sets of 5 Larson. It's just there to kind of keep the skill practice of the bench going, because even though it's not a whole lot of crazy volume or super high intensity, we know with having that day in, my bench just feels in better groove and I feel stronger overall. When we added that day in, was when we blew my bench up, from like struggling with 375 pounds per single to hitting that 392 in training going into Corrupted Strength Classic for my last meet prep. So with that being said though, because it's 3 days in a row, right, as far as Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I'm aware that after pushing intensity on Saturday and higher intensity back downs, as well as pushing intensity on Sunday and higher intensity back downs, that day feels pretty fried. So like yesterday, for example, all I did was 120 kilos for my top set of 5. And then I did, 122.5 kilos, 270 pounds for my top set of 5. And then I did 242 pounds for my back down sets of 5. Whereas today on Tuesday, I was able to come in and actually do more than that for my top set of 7. Mind you, just 2.5 kilos, but like 275 pounds. And now I'm doing 2.5 kilos more for my back downs as well. Now it may seem like, well, why is that the case since, the Larson press is early in the week and it's lower reps? And there's a few reasons for that. One, because the Larson press day is super suppressed due to how day 1 and day 2 bench go. So day 3 feels really suppressed. Day 3 isn't as hard a day, so I don't feel as beat up coming into my day 4 bench. It's also the fact that even though my Larson and my actual bench strength aren't drastically different, it's this thing where I still do get quite a bit out of actual leg drive, having my feet on the ground. So even though it's 2 reps more between just being less beat up for not pushing the Larson as hard yesterday, as well as the fact that my feet are on the ground, this day just shows up a little bit stronger. Then tomorrow, Wednesday, I don't bench at all. And then my day 5 bench is on Thursday, where I have my close grip single, which is just like a priming single to get me set for my primary day on Saturday. And then I have, close grip top set of 8 and then some back down 8s, which just once again getting some more good additional volume in. And that day is a close grip day just for variability so that I'm not in the same position for all 5 days, right? And I know the trends. I know that day 1 and day 2 will feel strong. I know day 3 feels day 4 starts to feel a little bit better. And then day 5 actually feels better than both day 3 and day 4, even though it's later in the week, because I have that break where I bench 4 days in a row, rest, and then my 5th day is later, and it just primes me. So it's this thing where because I know that, I don't come in and get frustrated that I'm not throwing a big weight on this day or that I'm not constantly hitting big PRs on this day. There was a time, when my overall strength was lower, where I would be able to, at least on the final week of the block, come in and push all my secondary day stuff a little bit harder. But I'm at a point now where doing that just causes more fatigue than needed going into the new block, so I just don't do that. I let these days just kind of, be a little bit more static and kind of just progress at a natural rate where I'm able to hit the RPE and increase the load over time, but without forcing it, because that's what these days are for. And it's really important for a lifter or a coach to be able to explain to the lifter what the trends are, because it shouldn't be random. Like I said, if you guys subscribe to Powerlifting Now, you saw my first video on the subscription service was how to make certain days feel stronger than others. We have so much more control over this than what people realize by how we control the workload on any given day, the intensity, the rate of progression, all that type of stuff. And not even just with the day-to-day within the week, but even week to week. For example, I have a lot of clients who say, coming into week 1, they feel pretty beat up from a fatigue standpoint because they just pushed really hard on week 4 of the previous block, but that they still feel strong. And that makes sense because week 4, you're hitting the highest loads of the block, so your fitness is really, really high. So even though you come in feeling pretty beat up and fatigued week 1, you'll probably still feel strong because you're riding the fitness of the previous week for the previous block. As well as the fact that week 1 loads are pretty light, so between them being light and you feeling strong, everything moves pretty well. Then on week 2, fatigue is lower and things move a little bit more smoothly, but my clients often say that they don't feel quite as good or as strong, which once again makes sense because week 1, yes, you got that fatigue a little bit lower by taking those lower exertion weights, but you also lowered your fitness with that. So week 2, you might not feel quite as popular and strong, even though things are moving well, but then you go through that week 2, you get that fitness a little bit more elevated, you get through week 3, your fitness even more elevated, and then you smash it home week 4, right? And mind you, that's not the case for everybody. There's some people where week 1 feels okay, week 2 feels okay, then they maybe have a bigger ramp up into week 3, so the weight feels kind of heavy on week 3, but then they're set for week 4. So it's just recognizing what these trends are with yourself as a lifter, or if you're a coach, recognizing these trends with your lifters so you can know what to expect and know what the mental approach should be for every day. This day is just about coming in and getting in some good volume and then, pushing the accessories to get some additional volume as well. So yeah, just wanted to kind of explain all that because it's something that I often get questions about where it's like, man, like how do you deal with knowing you're touching like, mid 300s or 300 pluses on a couple days and you come in and you're touching sub 300 on the other days? It's because I know what each day is for. You're not gonna be able to push super hard all the time because if you do, you're gonna burn yourself out, run out of steam, or you end up dealing with injury. So yeah, anyway, let's knock out these back downs and get to accessories.
to you. Hope you ain't loving the crew. How many bodies you got? Pray it ain't more than a few. Know that you dealt with some lame when you was young and in school. He had to pop your chair, but I got it wet like a pool. She got a new G-Wag, she wanna hit highlight room and show it out. Got a new body, girl, show it out. It's a Brazilian, I know it's out. Toned up and she got a six-pack. Look like she used to play volleyball. American Express, you can have it all.
All right, so as you guys can see, we are almost stacking this out completely, and hitting this today for 3x10 was a PR. And on this hamstring chest press, which is personally my favorite chest press I've been on, just because it has such a high load potential, because in total, it can go up to 305 pounds, because it's 295 plus the 2 additional 5-pound increments. So I'm currently about to attempt a PR set of 275 pounds, so 265 plus 2 5-pound increments for a 3x10. So we're gonna see how that goes. All right, guys, so that went well. 275 pounds out of a 305-pound total stack for a 3x10, and that was also a PR in terms of this machine. Honestly, it's one of these things where I'm fully very much aware that, you know, not everyone can do weighted dips. Some people might have issues with incline bench press, you know what I'm saying? Some people may only have access to certain dumbbells, stuff like that. So there's variability with what type of free weight movements I think people can get a response from. But one thing that I truly believe, if your gym has, should be a staple for every single person, is a chest press, because it's a simple way of getting additional volume on the chest, triceps, and shoulders. They just won't beat you up because it's a machine. It doesn't take a lot of stability like the way dumbbell press does. It doesn't take a whole lot of like having to set things up like a weighted dips. It's a simple, easy, straightforward movement. But I'm really happy with how that moved. And honestly, it's cool. I'm at a point right now where I'm the strongest that I've been on every single accessory lift, despite walking around sub 170 pounds. Granted, there's certain movements I'm just not pushing quite as hard on the top end, like weighted dips, RDLs, things like that. And that's just because I know that even though I'm the strongest I've ever been, my ability to recover isn't as high as what it is when I'm like, you know, walking around mid 170s. So once CPT is done and I fully commit to that build day 2.5, you guys are gonna start seeing me really push things even more with like those heavier top sets on accessories. But right now, in terms of just what I'm hitting for my straight sets, I'm easily the strongest I've ever been. So I'm really happy about that and having this baseline. Because once those calories go up, the crap's gonna go stupid. But yeah, really happy with this. And it's this thing where since coming here in February when they got all the accessory equipment in, I don't even remember where I started. I think like, you know, somewhere in the mid 200s. And just literally every time I get 3 sets 10, just going up 5 pounds every single time and pushing that threshold. Because where I started was based upon what the RPE was. So I knew that, okay, as long as I keep adding weight every time that I can, then I'm gonna stay where I need to be relative to that RP and pushing things of that nature. So really happy with that. We're gonna knock out these cable lateral raises and tricep work. And then next time I talk to you guys will probably be Saturday for the highest exertion of prep, week 3 SBD. All right, guys, so all wrapped up with today's workout. Just wanted to give y'all a very quick tip in regards to the ladder raises. You guys noticed that for the cable ladder raises that I was holding the handle behind my back. And the reason why I did that is because, simply put, it makes the movement more difficult in such a way because it is putting overall more tension on the fibers that I'm trying to hit when I'm doing a lateral raise. And that's the thing, when it comes to hypertrophy, right, it's very much the opposite of powerlifting where people manipulate their leverages to lift as much weight as possible. We want to do everything we can to try to make these movements more difficult, to get greater range of motion relative to the movement we're talking about, right? Because range of motion is always relative to, one, what movement you're on, and two, your natural morphology and leverages, everything like that. But it's one of these things where doing what we can to make the movement more difficult will just allow you to get a lot more out of it. You guys saw I was going very, very light on that, but I felt way more tension on the muscles involved and was able to hit that higher exertion a whole lot more easier with less weight versus just doing it the traditional way where it's in front of my body, right? Now with that being said, there are like limitations to that. You shouldn't just do everything you can to make a movement more harder. For example, people that will do like these 5, 8, 10-second eccentrics and then do like a super slow concentric. And like that's old school stuff that I talked about on this channel years ago. There's no point in doing anything like that because at the end of the day, it's like if you're limiting the total load you could be doing through a proper full range of motion with just a normal controlled eccentric and an explosive concentric, but you're cutting that workload in half, just to do a super slow eccentric, super slow concentric, at that point it's not worth it because you're probably gonna get a lot more out of doing more weight through a controlled full range of motion, right, than doing way less weight and just slowing it down to that degree. So a good controlled eccentric, yes, and then on concentric, there's never a need to go super slow because we know that the muscle fibers have to work harder to be explosive during the concentric versus going slower. So you're actually gonna get a whole lot better with as far as muscle fiber activation, hitting those upper threshold fibers, doing the concentric fast, hard, and explosive, right? And then just having a decent controlled eccentric. So I'm not saying to just go to extremes to making the movement harder, but for example, now that I put myself in that position through that range of motion to hit the fibers the way I want, I'm not gonna make it even harder by slowing the eccentric excessively or the concentric. I'm simply going to progress load through that range of motion because we do still wanna see you adding weight to the movement over time because that's going to ensure that you're doing more total workload and thus getting the adaptation that you want in terms of actually getting stronger and building muscle. And then, tricep work was casual, just single arm overhead extensions. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this workout. I'll see you guys on Saturday. All right, what's up, guys? So it is May 13th, 3 weeks out from meet day. And today should be chilled, honestly. Like we're taking pretty much the same approach that we did to Karate Strength Classic, where I technically hit like my heaviest lifts of prep at like the 6 week out mark. And on the 3 week out mark, I hit just heavy enough to keep my fitness highly elevated. So then that way, the next 2 weeks we build, the meet lands on my next week 3 primary, and then we really push it hard there. So like I already told you guys, a video or two ago, Brad already knows the numbers I'm supposed to hit today. Bria knows the numbers I'm already supposed to hit today. And I don't plan on going above those, which just so you guys know, 235 kg, 518 pound squat, 165 kg, 363 pound bench, and then a 275, 606 pound deadlift. So these are all numbers that really should be around or a little bit under second attempts. And it's just about going in and stacking sessions. No more pushing things, no more forcing things, just moving these weights, moving them with confidence, knowing that no matter how they move today, it's going to be that much better come meet day, and even more weight will move even better come meet day. So I'm just going to go in, I'm going to be locked in, and it should be a good time. And we're just going to stay focused, which, look at that. Look at that. Hey, Mark, you're editing this, boy. You know it's good. It's good. But anyway, no. So this is Focus. This is the brand that my boy Mark Harris, aka Sir Mark Salon on Instagram. You guys should know who he is by now because if you don't, that's crazy. One, he's been the one that has done the direct videography and editing for all of my meet videos, my meet recaps. He's also one that just for the past 2 years has been editing my videos in general. Like obviously I still, I record everything and then, I upload all the files for him and I outline everything for him as far as like, hey, I want this to pop up here. I want this to pop up here, transition this way and that way. But he's the one that does the actual editing, which helps me out so much. And I can't thank my boy enough. Obviously, y'all already know. We pay our boy nicely for the work that he does, of course, but still, I appreciate it because it just helps me. It's one less thing that I have to worry about because even though I take the time to outline everything, that's nowhere near as much time as having to sit down and edit everything else out between everything that I have to do with, coaching, training, being a husband, being a father, so on and so forth, right? So I appreciate what Mark Fizz, but yeah, no, I love it, man. I love the brand. This is Shirt Focus. I'll let you guys go ahead and hopefully y'all can see that. Let you guys see the back. And if you can't see the back, that's all good, because I'm going to make sure that I haven't put what the message is up on screen. And I love it, man, because it's like at the end of the day, it goes so well with like what I'm about. You guys know I'm all about contentment and growth. I've been saying on this channel for years, even before, craftsmanship was a thing. And then of course, craftsmanship is all about focusing on your craft, no matter what that is, whether it's a certain skill you're trying to get better at, whether it's your job, a relationship, whatever your focus is. Like, the craft never ceases, always trying to build ourselves up to be the best that we can be. So the idea of like focusing and working hard to achieve your dreams is great. And it's the perfect message for today's session. So I just got to go in, be focused. I'll let myself get a little bit hyped up on top as needed. But the point is, like, I'm not forcing anything. I'm just going to be focused. I'm going to execute. So yeah, I'm excited. Should be a smooth day. Also, the homie Brian is 1 week out from his meet. So, we'll see what he does today. We'll see what he does next week. So I'll actually be handling him along with a few of my clients. And then that's going to give me that last little bit of motivation that I need to set myself up to push things the way I need to in 3 weeks Carolina Prime Time. But anyway, just wanted to, go ahead, get that out the way. That's enough talking. Let's head to the gym.
I'm T Grizzly cuz, I'm T Grizzly auntie. I ain't fuck with him in 3 years, and send him no letters of money. He look out for all these niggas, even that. And this the type of shit coming to the niggas, boy. Real fucking focus, ooh, they done let the G's in the dough. Ay, Trump should have freed Larry. Fuck is wrong with dude? He's gonna stick it up. Ay, they done let the G's in the dough. GDs. They done let the GDs in the dough. Ay, ooh. We gon' rock to dance when this shit drop the kids. You know my money, guns, I'm like I lock that ass. At the end of niggas passing, shooters out my kids. It's either death or jail with us, this shit. Nigga, I'm back out, that's on the tag out, big boy straight up feelings. I was in the trap house, chillin' with the Mac out, gang gave me my members. Nigga, we told us. You Mickey Mouse, bitch, you ain't even told on that boy. All my guns come with a switch, cause I'm fucking rich. I don't take no tweets and throw no fish. Get shot in your shit. Old nigga, you tryna diss. Fuck up by my dick. Caught him beeping bingo with his bitch. And we see the blitz. Naruto tryna fight me by the stick. It's his turn to blitz. I can't even run my ass and shit. Pussy don't exist. 1, 2, 3, 4. Niggas mad I fuck they hoe. 5, 6, 7, 8. Pussy that got this fuck the world, get a child louder. Yeah, my life a bitch, but you know nothing about her. Been to hell and back, I can show you vouchers. I'm rolling sweets, I'm smoking sour. Married to the game, but she broke her vows. That's why my bars are full of broken bottles, and my nightstands are full of open bottles. I think about more than I forget, but I don't go around fire expecting not to sweat. And these niggas know I lay them down, make you big.
All right, guys. I'm very, very happy with squats today. All my warm-ups felt very good. I felt super calm. The 518 moved beautifully. Like, that is the best that 500 plus has felt on my back since, end of January, beginning of February when I hit the 540 double. And I just felt confident. Felt locked into position as far as the weight on my back and where my grip is set. Completely rooted with the wider stance. Kept complete control into the hole. Depth undeniable. It's it moved the way it should. It moved in such a way where I'm if I want to go up to 245, 250 kilos today, so 545 to 550, I know I could, and I knew it would move well. So the fact that that's moving the way it needs to before even tapering, such a good sign. Very happy, and once again, I stayed true to the plan. Didn't go above that, and we stayed focused, man. We stayed focused. So I'm very happy about that. And then back downs, 424 for a 4x4, that is the most I've done for back downs in a minute. And they all felt really, really good. I showed you guys my first and my last back down set. I ended up going to my inserts for my last 2 back down sets of 4, just because they started to feel pretty tight, just from being super hydrated and stuff. Because I did today use the 110%, not just pre-workout, but the supplement I told you guys about a video or 2 ago, Catalyst, just to kind of try it and compare it to the Ascension supplement my client Bo came up with. And I feel good, man. I feel fueled, I feel hydrated. Like I can just tell I'm not feeling super depleted and drained, which I'm really, really happy about. Granted, it's not as hot today either as what it was a week ago, or even the week before that. So that's probably playing a role too. But yeah, very good supplement. I'll have on screen like the dosage of everything in it, because I don't remember off the top of my head, and I don't have like the packaging with me like I did for the Ascension. But very good product, man. I really feel it's just going to come down to preference if you're trying to choose between the two. But I'm very happy with it. I feel locked in. I feel dialed in. That's the best part, man. I'm focused, but no hype. And I'm just moving smoothly, because we already know I get a boost when that hype gets turned on, as long as I can control it. So yeah, squats were great. See how bench goes.
Anybody else can see the more. Give me 30 seconds with her. I can get this bitch lit. One bullet out that cage, the toughest nigga here. No, don't need one drink, that ain't racing. So I suck. Start. Yeah. I got her ready. Press.
All right, guys, so I'm very happy with bench. 363 pounds moved very well. It's this thing where bench doesn't feel crazy strong right now, but I know it's strong. Like, got commands, the positioning, the relative speed, everything felt good. I especially know that and it's funny because there's all this back and forth on this, on if this happens or not, and it comes down to the individual. There are some people where, especially when they low bar, just do the positioning with their back, their shoulders, even their arms, their bench takes a little bit of a hit if they bench heavy right after. I'm one of those people. I know that for me, going into a meet, part of the reason why bench feels so good on meet day, besides the fact that I have this super long range of motion, so we can pull back on the accessories and taper the bench just a little bit, it feels really good. But also the fact that I only have to do 3 squats before I do my bench versus doing 4x4 back downs, whatever it may be. So the baseline is where it needs to be. The fact that I hit that 308 for that 3x4 so smoothly, fitness is exactly where it needs to be. And the fact that I'm just going to continue to build this momentum throughout the rest of this week, and then the next 2 weeks after, going into the meet, I know I'm going to be solid. So I'm really happy with how that moved overall. I have no complaints. Sent it to Brad. He's really happy with how everything's moving. He's loving it. We're in a good groove. I just got to execute on deadlifts, and then this will be a very successful session, and honestly the first full-on successful week 3 SPD that I've had in a few blocks. So let's make it happen. He's coming back. He's coming back. Hey, I'm gonna say it again. Johnny, go ahead and make sure, bro, you got your wraps, your belt, your knee sleeves. Go ahead and get back on program, brother. Because in 3 weeks' time, you're coming back to the platform. I'm sorry. That was the smoothest and easiest 606 I've ever done. And y'all already know how much better my deadlift feels come meet day. It's one of these things where I just got everything locked in with the positioning now. Like everything's put together, like, you know, setting my brace the way I always do. But what I'm doing is as I hinge down, so to make sure I don't let myself buy too much flexion, as I hinge down, just accumulate a little bit of extension, so I'm in a more neutral position. I get the slack out, I wedge. As you guys know, I've been trying to focus on keeping my chin down, keep my head down, and focusing on a fixed point. But the problem is, once I push and comes off the ground, I just have the tendency of wanting to crank my head a little bit more. So instead, I'm simply, once again, that position, get the slack out and wedge, I'm looking a little bit more straight ahead anyway, instead of down. And I'm not letting it crank up. I'm looking just more straight ahead, keep my eyes fixed on whatever's right there at that point, and I don't let my eyes deviate from that as I push. And so long as I do that, I feel like I can pull whatever I want to. Like, I'm staying in the quads, I'm not getting caught on my legs, I'm clearing the space with ease. So for that to move that way, like, the best part about today is that I know for a fact I could have gone up on everything. I could have hit 240 to 250 on squats today, very confidently. Could have definitely hit, like, you know, 170, 172 on bench, and could have hit, like, you know, 290 on the deadlift. Like, everything that I would need to hit come meet day. Really over what I'll need to hit, considering what I plan to be weighing in at. I ain't gonna let y'all know about that. Y'all know it's gonna be no more than 75 kg, but I won't necessarily tell you how much lower it may be compared to that. I'll leave that between me and Brad so that y'all can just be happy and surprised come meet day. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy because I came in and did what I said I was gonna do. I promised Brad last week, I said in the catch on my Instagram, I said, I will execute next week, I promise you. I came in and did it, man. Didn't get greedy, stayed calm, and just got the work done. So I'm happy, man. I'm excited. And it was cool to have, you know, both people who are used to seeing me train and then people who are here who don't see me train very often, all asking the same thing, like, oh, you're gonna go up? Bro, that's your top set? So like, that's very, very good confidence for me. So yeah, like, I'm sorry, John. Actually, I'm not sorry, brother. I can't wait to have you back. Can't wait to beat your little 515 dots, have you back on the platform, you know what I mean? It's gonna go down. But honestly, see that? I don't know if y'all hear that, but even nature agrees with me. The birds over here chirping, agreeing with me as I'm talking, you know what I'm saying? No, but today was awesome. I'm very, very happy. This was, like I said, the quote-unquote highest exertion of the prep. Strength's where it needs to be. Now it's just managing my recovery, managing my fatigue, getting through the rest of this week 3, and then building that momentum the next 2 weeks into the meet afterwards. So yeah, I really don't have anything else to say. I'm not gonna show you guys the belt squats. You already know your boy's gonna go hard on the belt squats. That's what we do. But that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go and comment down below, let me know what you did. If not, comment down below, let me know what can we get better. Like the video, share, subscribe. Keep it simple, specific, scientific. I'll catch you guys later.